Hi, everyone. Welcome to English 1121 Fall 2024. I'm Jacqueline Blaine. I'm your instructor. I know it says Donna on everything, but that's my first name. I don't go by it. Probably some of you have the same issue. I can't convince CUNY to let me use my middle name, so there we are. I wanted to do a bunch of things here because I know most of us are pretty new to Brightspace. I've taught with it once this summer, and there's a bit of a learning curve, but we'll all figure it out, just like we all had to figure out Blackboard, which I have always hated. So we'll get this one done too. And I wanted to use this video to sort of orient you to the Brightspace space and tell you a little bit about the class and how we're going to proceed from here on. So first of all, I want to say I'm really excited to have everybody in this class because I know that you all had to request admission to this class, and Professor Miller has told me about some of you, and I really can't wait to get to know who you are and a little bit about what you do. And I love this class. I really enjoy 1121. I helped develop it originally and keep helping to change it. It's always a work in progress. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. This is not a literature class. We're not going to be reading Macbeth and doing close readings of text. This is the second half of the English sequence, and it's about composition, it's about writing, it's about communicating with the rest of the world and learning more about our own process as writers and the things that we're afraid of. I've been a working writer my whole life, and it never gets any easier. Every mistake you think you have made or will have made, every fear you ever had about writing, I've had those, I've made those. We're sort of all in this together. It's one of the reasons I like teaching composition, because it's something we all use, communicating with each other. So we're going to talk about things like being aware of some of these things you may have learned in 1101, at least I hope you did. Awareness of audience, understanding of genre, situational communications, that kind of stuff. But we're going to learning a little bit about your writing process. So it was mostly about you, sometimes outside, but now we're really going to broaden our lens in this 1121 class. We're going to look at communities that we're involved with, things like sports teams or going to the gym, knitting, being part of a knitting group or a book club, or a professional career, being involved with professional organizations, and talk about how we communicate within those organizations, and who gets to join it, who doesn't get to join it, who's on the outside looking in. We're also going to take that look at context and audience and go from your group, your community, to the bigger world. And you're going to be writing about a place. It could be about your community, your neighborhood. Could be about someplace you hang out a lot. Could be about a museum, or could be about a school. It could be about a lot of things. You're going to get to do a little bit of history, talk to people. This is how we do research in this one. It's talking to people one-on-one, and creating sort of like a little article about it, where we explain to each other and to me, what your space looks like, what that place looks like. That'll be fun. And then the third unit, you can take something that you learned or that you've got particularly interested in the first two units and create something multimodal for a specific audience. Say you want to talk about your neighborhood or some of the people in your neighborhood, and tell people in a completely different neighborhood. Now, how would you get that information to them? Well, if it's to students, it may be Instagram stories. If it's for kids, it could be a graphic novel or comics. It could be a video. There's all kinds of ways to do it. Photo essays. I've had people actually write short stories, which is fine. There's lots of ways to do things multimodally. Modes are, they're either written or the things we hear or video. There's a variety of modes, and we'll talk about that too. So and then we'll do a final portfolio like you did in 1101, where you get to reflect back on this class, both your writing classes, where you are as a writer, what you've learned, that kind of stuff, and do revisions. Now I'll talk about this more, but the grading in this class, I'm more interested in where you end up than where you started. So grades tend to have a tendency to go up over the term as you do revisions and stuff, which it's just the way it is. That's just my approach to grading. I hate grades. I hate grading, and I always want people to do as well as they possibly can do. So that's a little bit about the class. As I said, I'm a writer and a teacher. I worked in television for a while. I've done a lot of weird things. I'm now a novelist. So again, I've done all the writing mistakes and fears that you've got to. So let me walk you a little bit around Brightspace, since this is new to all of us. And let me share my screen in order to do this. Share screen. I've been doing this for so long. Now, one thing you might notice is it might have a different class course number, section number up here. I have two sections of the same class. Excuse me. And for these first videos, I thought, well, it's just dumb to make 6 videos instead of 3. So if it's not your course, your section number, I have OL12 and I have 0594. Don't worry about it. It's all the same information. As we get into the term, each week I'll do one for each separate class, each separate section. So here's Brightspace. You probably already all know this. And let's see, where do I want to walk you through? Okay, this is called the nav bar. I hope some of you have had a chance to look at this or look at Brightspace or look at the student handbook. I have a link to that on here too. So this is called the nav bar here. When you first get into Brightspace, it won't look like this. It will look like it will just have a just big splash screen. And the way you find your courses is with this little block. It says select a course. So you can find this class pretty easily. It's like this is this one. Okay, it's just a big long list. Where you used to do it in Blackboard, it's the same thing. So you just select this one, and here's our homepage, right? I'll go through each one of these things quickly. This is the course home. That's where we are. This is the content page. This has everything okay, this has everything on it. Table of contents. My computer's being very slow today. Each one of these things with the picture is called a module, and I'll come back to that again in a minute. But each module contains certain things, like this one's got the course schedule, and then these are the different units, okay? But this looks more like what Blackboard looked like. I should probably turn this on. I'll make this look like learner, okay, instead of instructor. So this is what the content thing will look like for you all. Same thing, okay? This is where we are. It's different now because nothing's in there yet, but this is the contents. So go back to course home. Assignments is where you load an assignment, okay? So each one of these is things that you'll upload. You just click on it. I usually leave some instructions on what to do, and then you can add a file, upload the file to submit it. You can leave me comments if you want to, say, boy, I really had a tough time, be nice, like that kind of stuff. And then you hit submit. And that's how all those assignments work. So there are several, these are the ones that the grades are the grade is based on. And the number value for each of these is here. It looks weird. These is 5 points out of 100. These are just drafts. These numbers will change with revisions. So it's not a big thing. So don't worry about it right now. So if we go to class list here, this is everybody. And if you want to get in touch with somebody, there you go. It uses your CUNY, your City Tech ID, your CUNY ID. And so you can send each other emails, you can send people stuff, you can record your voice and send it that way too. So you may not be able to see this, but because of, thank you, Zoom, probably didn't show that, but it opens an email screen, so you can just email each other, add documents and that kind of thing. So this is everybody, tells you about who you are. Class progress, there's nothing on here. You can't tell because nobody's logged in yet, but through this I can tell when you've been here, when you've logged in, how often you've been logged in. And with an asynchronous class, it's the only way I can kind of take attendance, which is not really attendance, but it is attendance. So if somebody's having trouble, I can usually check on this user progress thing and say, well, they haven't been around for a while, and I'll shoot you off an email and say, what's up? What can I do? Let's see if we can get all this, together. But that's what the class progress button is. Grades is where you find your grades. And again, there's no grades. This will be the grades for each one of these things that are graded. The things that you're going to be uploading into here. Now, I'm glad this came up because there is an app. I use it. So if I'm out and, I need to look at something, I can look at it. It works pretty well. It's, it's not as robust as regular desktop, but it does work. So you can do that too. Google Play, App Store, whatever you're using. So you'll find your grades on here. There's no grades there yet because this is me and I haven't submitted anything, but you'll find all the grades for these things. When you can have an assignment, it opens, I can show you a screen later, but it opens the screen where your document is. I'll leave comments on that and I put grade and I can mark up the page. It's actually really, really nice. Much better than Blackboard ever was, and much more private than using Google Docs and a Google Drive. So that's that. Course tools, you don't really need much. This goes back to the announcements, which I'll talk about in a second. We don't have a blog. We don't have attendance. The calendar is wonky because it's only just a calendar. There's nothing on it. Checklist groups. This one is the only one that really announcements and this, but you'll see this when you come to the homepage anyway. This is the library guide. Takes you right to the City Tech Library. And information about getting started with research, discourse communities that we're going to be working with. And so this may be useful. Some guides on developing research questions and how to use the library. So this one is specifically set up for English 1121, which is pretty cool. It's nice. So we get to that again by using course tools. So let me go back here. Okay, the other things that are up here, this is a link. Well, I have office hours. Where the heck is the thing? I have office hours, which is not showing up for some oddball reason. I have office hours on, I think it's Monday from 1 to 2 and Thursdays from 6 to 7. I'll go see if I can't fix this stupid thing. I have it on the syllabus, but this is the link to get to conferences, and it's always live, this link. So if you want to meet with somebody in the class and you don't want to use WhatsApp or whatever, you want to stay within the school environment, you can use this Zoom link for yourselves. Okay. I just make that available to people. Here's the calendar. It's just, here's the month, you can see when I'm doing this. It's today. These upcoming events these are just the deadlines for the assignments. Right, that's all it's here. And announcements, there's no announcement here, but I'll be putting announcements here whenever I need to. What's something that's coming up, information from the school, all that kind of stuff. I'll also be putting it in our Slack workspace, which I'll talk about in a bit. But the announcements are here. Previous announcements will live. When you put announcements in, it strings it all down and it clutters up the page. So I'll copy and put the old announcements here in this section. Now we get to the important part, right? You already started here. That's where we are now. Each one of these things is called a module, and so this is where we're going to be going next in just a minute. It has all of the information you need for that particular module, that particular unit, all kinds of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to go back here, the course home, and that's a quick look at it. This is notifications, update alerts, subscription alerts. You don't have any message alerts, and they go back to the CUNY thing. So I'm going to stop this video now, and because that's enough time to be sitting here watching a video. And then the next video is going to walk us through this particular course materials and links. Oh, I forgot. This module has a weekly course schedule. Okay, so I've got the schedule in a couple of places, but this has all of everything that we're going to be doing for the whole term. So you can look at this at your leisure. It is right there. The reason that this is on Google, a Google Doc and a Google Drive, is so if I have to change things, I can do it and it'll change automatically on Brightspace. But here's the weekly assignments of our weekly schedule. That's what that module is all about. Then you have to go back. This does this or some. Oh, you can also download all those, everything that pops up on the Google links. So Google Drive. So I'm going to stop this video now and we'll go over here to course links and materials. So once you finish watching this, just click on course links and materials and the video will be there and we'll go from there. Okay, I'm looking forward to this and I will see you all. I will see you all soon.